Tonight I'll tell you a story that begins on an ordinary farm, but reaches into the heart of what it means to be brave, to be kind, and to keep your word even when fear demands you break it. This is the story of Maya the cow who made a promise to a tiger and how one night of truth shaped everything that followed. On the edge of a lush green valley, bordered by a thick forest and a winding river, there lived a gentle cow named Maya and her little calf, Roma. Their days began with golden light spilling across the fields, and the air carried the soft hum of life, buzzing bees, swaying grass, and the steady rhythm of the farmer's footsteps. Maya was no ordinary animal. She had a quiet strength, the kind that doesn't shout but endures. Her life was simple: graze the fields, feed her calf, and offer milk that nourished more than just hunger. It carried love itself. Maya's bond with Roma was fierce and tender. She would always find the freshest grass, taste it first, and bring it back for her calf. Every sunrise was a gift, every sunset a quiet prayer. But life has a way of testing the purest hearts. Beyond the safety of the farm lay the forest, deep and wild, ruled by an ancient tiger. He was the shadow between trees, the echo of hunger that never sleeps. To the villagers, he was fear itself. To the forest, he was balance, the keeper of nature's harsh truth, survival. Then came the summer that refused to end. The sun turned cruel, the earth cracked, and the grass that once danced under the wind turned brown and brittle. Water grew scarce. Milk grew thin. Even the farmer's prayers felt dry. Maya watched her calf weaken, her small breaths slowing as hunger pressed on their bones. Desperation is a powerful thing. It drives even the cautious into danger. One afternoon, Maya wandered farther than she ever had before, searching for green. And then she saw it. A patch of lush, untouched grass glowing in the sunlight like a secret kept by the earth. She stepped closer, unaware that the line she crossed was more than soil. It was the edge of the tigress' territory. She lowered her head to eat, and the world held its breath. Deep in the shadows, the tiger stirred. His golden eyes opened, his senses alive with the scent of prey. Hunger doesn't think, it acts. The tiger moved like lightning through the underbrush. The forest seemed to tremble as he leapt. Maya's heart exploded with terror. She ran, hooves pounding against the dry ground, the sound echoing like thunder. She didn't run for herself, she ran for Roma, for the little life that waited for her back at the farm. The chase tore through the fields until Maya reached a cliff's edge where the world simply ended. Behind her, the tiger's growl deepened, a sound that could silence courage itself. There was nowhere left to go. The drop below meant death. The predator before her meant the same. But in that moment, something within Maya refused to surrender. Fear gave way to something deeper, a mother's courage. She turned, trembling but resolute, and faced the tiger. Her voice didn't come as words, but as truth itself, a silent plea that spoke of love, of duty, of one final request: let me return to my child for one last night. The tiger paused. For a heartbeat, the forest stilled. Nature does not often stop to think, but something in Maya's eyes, a reflection of pure honesty, made the tiger hesitate. He had killed before. He would kill again. But this was different. What stood before him was not just prey. It was a promise waiting to be made. He stepped back, his hunger pressing against his ribs like fire, and said, in the silence only nature understands, "Go. But return tomorrow." Maya bowed her head, not out of fear, but in gratitude. That night, as the sky turned violet, she returned to the farm and nuzzled Roma close. She didn't speak, but her every breath told the calf what words never could. She had one night left. The stars looked down, and even they seemed to listen. The next morning came with gold spilling across the land, and Maya rose quietly. She kissed Romo's head and began her final walk back to the forest. The world often measures strength by power, but sometimes true strength lies in keeping a promise you never wanted to make. Maya walked steady and unafraid. The tiger was waiting, a dark silhouette against the bright dawn. His muscles tensed. His eyes gleamed. But then something remarkable happened. The tiger watched as Maya approached the same cow he could have devoured the day before, and she had come back willingly. That simple act of honor broke the rhythm of the wild. The tiger lowered his head, not in defeat but in recognition. He had seen countless creatures run, beg, or lie, but never one who returned. Mercy is not the opposite of power, it's the highest form of it. And that day, the tiger chose mercy. He turned away, sparing Maya's life, and left her standing at the edge of the forest, alive but forever changed. When Maya returned home, the farm felt different. The air seemed softer, the world somehow kinder. The farmer noticed her calm. The animals seemed to sense her peace. Word spread of the cow who had faced a tiger and lived to tell the tale. And like all stories that travel fast, it reached places it shouldn't have, like the nearby house of a woman whose envy was sharper than reason. This woman had a daughter, proud and spoiled, who thought the world owed her its treasures. When she heard Maya's story, she believed she could find her own miracle without kindness, without sacrifice. She walked to the same fields, hoping fortune would greet her. But where Maya had shared warmth and care with every creature she met, this girl offered only arrogance. When the trees asked for water, she ignored them. When the alderman whispered for repair, she turned away. And so the world answered her in kind. The path that had opened with grace for Maya closed with thorns for her. What she found in the forest was not reward, but reflection, the truth of her own heart staring back, cold and empty. She returned home in tears, stripped of her pride, learning too late that the universe mirrors what we give. Meanwhile, Maya's kindness continued to ripple through the land. The tree she once brushed her side against grew thick with fruit. The well she had helped clear ran full and sweet. The oven she had warmed gave bread that fed the hungry. Even the farmer's children noticed the change. They played softer, laughed gentler, and spoke of Maya not just as a cow, but as a simpler reminder that goodness has gravity, that promises kept never fade. In time, Roma grew strong, the farm flourished, and even the tiger, deep in his forest, felt the quiet shift in his world. He hunted still, as nature required, but something within him had changed. He no longer chased without thought. Somewhere between hunger and mercy, a new balance was born. The day he spared Maya had written a new rule into the forest. Even the fiercest hearts can bend when faced with truth. Seasons came and went. The story of the cow and the tiger became legend, told under moonlight and beside crackling fires. Elders spoke of it to children, not as fantasy, but as wisdom. They said, promises shape the world. Mercy is a strength, not a weakness. And kindness, though quiet, echoes longer than fear. If you listen closely, you can still hear it, the soft rustle of grass, the breath of the forest, the faint memory of a mother's footsteps walking back into danger just to keep her word. Maya didn't change the nature of the tiger, she changed the nature of the world around her. Her story reminds us that courage doesn't need to roar to be powerful. Sometimes it just needs to keep a promise. And when the night falls again and the farm grows silent, remember this: honesty, kindness, and love are not just virtues, they are seeds. Plant them in the darkest soil, and they will still grow toward the light. Because true strength isn't found in claws or teeth, but in the heart that keeps its word when no one is watching. That is the story of Maya, and the tiger a story of promise, courage, and the kind of kindness that survives even in the wildest places.